All right, everybody. Twitch is having some issues, which is why we're starting a little later here. I'm going to be watching the chat. If you can hear us and see us, and if everything's running okay, please let us know in the chat. I guess if you can't hear or see this, we'll probably see in the chat that you guys are upset if something's going on. So we'll be watching that. Don't know why the game's not showing up there in the... Here, can I just see that for a second?
Sure.
Yeah, so... It's me again, Dennis, community manager here at Blue Isle Studios, and I'm here once again with Sawyer and James. If you guys want to introduce yourselves again, just in case people have maybe not tuned in the past.
Hi, I'm Sawyer. I'm one of the game designers here at Blue Isle Studios.
I'm James. I'm a little off camera. I'm an artist here at Blue Isle Studios.
Cool. So today, we did a stream last week, but I figured it might be a good opportunity to do another one again today to show off something that is coming very soon to the game that we're really excited about. It is the marble structure set. So this is our first completely new structure set that we're adding to the game. And it's kind of an alternative to the ornate set, right?
Mm-hmm. So they're both equally top tier items, so they'll unlock at the same level. We just wanted to give players the options of the dark, ominous gothic structure, like a nice, bright, borderline elven style structure.
Right, yeah. It's very clean.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
very
it.
clean, very bright.
So we have everybody here in the chat. We're just looking at your comments. First question I'm going to ask you guys, maybe you can help us out decide here. Where would you like to see us build? We're just going to go ahead and build something cool and show you what you can do with the set. Do bear in mind this is still a work in progress, so if you do see some weird technical or visual glitches, we'll iron those kinks out before we release it. This is still a few weeks away. So let's see what people have to say about where we should build this. In the meantime, actually, I will talk about the patch that just went out now.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have noticed that we've been having some server issues. We've put out another fix with this patch that should bring those servers back up, and we're working on a much bigger fix for the servers in the next couple of days that should also improve that. So look forward to that. Let's see. Some of the things that have changed with this update, we've fixed the bug where the deconstructor would destroy things that it wasn't supposed to destroy.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So whatever you drop in the deconstructor, you know for sure will be the thing that gets destroyed. You don't have to take all your clothes off and put them in a chest. You don't have to do that whole awkward thing anymore. Building under the terrain, we found a few areas that people reported. We've patched those up, so there are fewer opportunities for people to get under there and build a base that other people can't access.
And if you see any more in the future of anything like that, please let us know through support email, through Discord. Hit us up because we're very actively making sure that those kind of things can't happen.
Yeah, totally. We fixed up some issues that some players have had with 4:3 resolution monitors.
Mm-hmm.
So some UI things were behaving a little funky there. We fixed those up. And one other balance thing that we did was we fixed a weird loop that you could kind of exploit with the transmuters.
Yeah, so it was a bit of what everybody's calling their factories, kind of in their own little community chats, where we had a diverging path of resources rather than a converging. So you could take one stone and make dozens of stones out of it, just making rune and things like that. So in order to make the transmuters more balanced, more appropriate, and more suited to their initial design, we've made it kind of a converging path. So as you use more stone, you're going to get a stone out. So it's a 1-to-1 now. And really that's meant for you to take the runes and the generators to create stone, not generating stone to break down into runes to generate even more stone.
Yeah.
It kind of made structure building quite free.
Yeah.
So we really wanted to make sure that that was in the proper balance and that players are going out and engaging, gathering rune, and building structures and putting a little bit more time and love into it all and not just building giant infinite stone factories.
Yeah, exactly. That was being exploited, and so we want to patch that up. And that might frustrate some of you who were taking advantage of that, but do understand that fixing things like that will, over time, help server performance if people aren't able to build at the scale that they were before.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I think a lot of players were just churning out resources and just building junk structures because they could.
Yeah. So that results in a lot of stress on the server when we're just giving you free infinite building. That's what we're trying to make sure is fixed and make these servers more stable and the game more balanced in itself.
So a couple of suggestions in the chat of where to build.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with, first of all, I love your username. I like a Defago. Suggests that we build a Blackwater Basin, which I think would be a cool spot to build a cool marble castle. So Audio Senpai asks, now that we're seeing more and more structure pieces, are there any plans to allow structure upgrade on a material to material basis, say going from wood to stone without having to tear down your strucures?
We've never heard this before.
We've never heard
no,
this.
I'm just kidding. We have been talking about it. It is something that internally that we're working towards. We can't let you know about a date or anything like that. It has to go through the whole process. But it is something we've heard many times, and it's something we take very seriously. So we're working towards solving that little gameplay feedback, I say, or just like ease of gameplay.
I'm just gonna bring it up and talk about it because it's hilarious. There's a great story to that end. Last time we were streaming, that was a very common question in the chat. Our senior programmer was watching the chat, watching the stream, and he's like, I'm so sick about hearing that complaint that he just started working on it. So it's not quite ready for release or anything, but work has started on that for the future. And it was funny just coming out of the stream. He's like, look, I've already started. And like, he was upgrading pieces. There's obviously a lot of little edge cases related to that need to be worked out. It's not quite ready yet for people, but
yeah,
just funny going into the stream, seeing people ask for it, and then coming out, and he's been like, well, it's almost there now.
Yeah, we've got through the first steps. Now it's the fun part of fixing and bug fixing and UI work and all these things. So it's a little bit away, but we'll let you know that it is coming. So be relieved about it.
We can now say that work has started on that. It just needs to be refined a little bit.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Blackwater Basin is the Meteor site?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Excellent.
Formerly
It went
Skyrock
through
Hole.
a lot of name revisions.
Yeah. Formerly Skyrock Hole, which is why we have a server named Skyrock Hole.
Giant
Oh, the
Geo.
old Geode.
Geode. If you guys have any questions related to the marble set, please feel free to ask, or structures in general.
Yeah.
We're going to be here hanging out answering those questions.
And as well, James is his character is currently wearing our
Oh, yeah. I'll
newest
stop for a
implemented armor set, our medium iron armor.
Mhm.
That's
So
right.
it's the center of the tier. It's just a step up from this. I believe it unlocks at level 38. Comparatively, the first one unlocks at 18. So this is the highest in this armor set currently. Nice cloth little cape. I like the collar.
Yeah, it's a cool look. I like the helmet, just
Yeah.
how it's like got the shuttered
Yeah.
kind of visor thing
Like a
going
football
on.
helmet a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. I think that's there it is, the Blackwater Basin. Someone wants to know if we'll add islands. Jayla Baster wants to know if we'll add islands floating in the sky. Cool idea.
It's a cool idea. I think it's been talked about a few times internally with that we would like that as well. Some more magical feeling landscapes like the floating islands and things. There is some technical limitations to it, so it's something that once we get everything else stable and we can start playing with the idea of adding more terrain to the map, then we'll be able to touch on that. But for now, making sure that the server and the world is stable in its current state is our top priority.
Yeah, we want to get everything working as well as we can before we start taking things in that direction. So a good question from Gamers Overnight. He says, when you build great buildings, there are some times where you can't access areas that you want to repair. Is there a way to repair or stop overall decay from these areas? So there is currently a way, which is the Reformation Stone.
Yes.
You can kind of litter those around your structure, have them powered with mana generators. and those will automatically repair your structures for you.
Yes. It is a little bit of a higher level thing, so you do have to get up there to the point where you can have Reformation stones, but that's something as well we're kind of looking at internally of how to give players a little bit more flexibility with structure repair. I won't touch on it too much, but it is something we're working on, is a little bit lower level potentially of healing that stuff. But yeah, for now, Reformation Stone will reach those spaces by itself. It sends out a nice little orb and hovers at it,
Yeah.
Makes that nice and better.
And something that came up recently is there are a lot of posters on the forums who think their structures have just kind of disappeared, which, I mean, if there is a bug there, we'll find it, we'll fix it, we'll investigate that for sure, but it may be that people are confused about the current structure decay system that's in the game. So I think, as it currently stands, I think it's 16 days before your throne decays.
I believe so.
So the way to prevent that is to either A, replace your throne on a regular basis, or at least within every 16th day of you last doing it.
Yeah.
Or to use Heal Beam, which does work on structures now, because we did fix that.
Yes.
To top it up and make sure that it doesn't decay. Because once it decays, then your structure becomes abandoned, and then all your pieces are vulnerable to decaying as well.
Yeah, and that's particularly if you're not making sure your structure's got good upkeep, if you're not replacing that throne, or you're not healing it on a regular basis, those supports will eventually decay as well. And if those supports decay and break, that's what holds up your whole structure. So down comes the house itself. But if there is anything that's is a bug, you can alert us and we'll take a look into it. But for now, I think it's structure decay that is probably throwing some people off.
Yeah, and again, we'll investigate if there are any issues. So I think James is just free building here right now. Please feel free to throw in the chat any ideas you have for this structure. Let's just build a crazy castle together and take a look at this new structure set. Something else I was going to say. Oh, yeah, so related to that, I think one thing that was talked about, I heard talked about earlier today, and I think we can agree on, is there's probably more we can do in-game to keep people alerted of the status of their throne decay and the decay of their structures, which is something that will come with time.
Yeah.
Like those little UI cues or whatever. Or
a little bit more feedback, some warnings and things like that, and that is something that even our programmer is talking about. He wants to be able to let people know what's going on with their structure on a regular basis. So we're working towards that. Once we get all the other bugs sorted out, that's when a lot of these feedback loops will get really sorted.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and Gamers Overnight is just following up on his question. Will it repair things if you can't see the wall? Yeah, as long as it's close to the Reformation Stone. Yeah,
it's just all about range. So as long as it's within range of the Reformation Stone, it will go to heal it.
Audio Senpai is asking if there's a fix for the drowning on land bug that has popped up recently. I think we did adjust the breathing things. Or whatever.
The water volumes.
The water volumes,
so that might have just been a matter of the water volumes were a touch too high with some terrain adjustments and things we had completed. So if you find an area where you're on the ground and you start to drown, or you start to realize the breath meter pops up, let us know your coordinates and we'll look into that spot right away.
Geist is just asking if they can report bugs through DMs on Twitter. Yeah, please feel free to send me a DM on Twitter. I'm not sure how it works. I might have to send you a DM first. So either way, just get at us on Twitter and I'll get in touch with you if you have a bug you want to report there. And you can report bugs on the community Discord. That's another great place. Or you can make a post on the Steam forums. We're always watching those too.
And I think we do have our email up as well. I believe it's just support@Blue Isle Studios. You can let us know through that. It's just a direct email to us here in the studio, and we'll be able to get back to you right away and let you know what's going on and what our fixes potentially might be, or that we will usually send it to QA first. So yeah, just contact us and we'll start to investigate any issues you're having.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Neon Moon is just asking if there's going to ever be like a kill feed to let you know who killed you or what killed you. I think that's kind of something we've spoken about before on the stream, related to like making PvP more meaningful and all that. And I think that's probably something that we'll want to look at too as well. If PvP is going to be meaningful, you got to know who's killing you and all that. And that's probably going to be folded into a potential like reputation system or whatever.
Yeah, I might come in with like reputation or PvP updates when those come about. So we're definitely it's written down. I'll say that much. It's written down whether it'll come in a short term, long term, or whether we decide that it's not necessary for the experience. We'll kind of bat around. But if you guys have any opinions on that, jump into the Discord, let us know, and we'll share that feedback.
For sure. Geister's asking, how does this new style look when paired with like the old ornate set, or like,
okay. Sure.
how do they mesh together?
I don't know, yeah.
Actually,
so James will do that right
I
now.
do wonder, because I haven't tried building with the two of them together. Let's see.
they're kind of designed to be divergent paths when you reach what is level 45.
I think it's
You can
45.
walk- You can walk. You can walk both, but you get them both at the same time.
Mhm.
Just so everyone knows, not that they're intended to be used solo, but it's kind of like a light version and a dark version. Although this new set is completely new, brand new everything. You see this door is like kind of like a wiry door, which we haven't done before, which I thought would be kind of a cool thing to do.
Yeah, the doors are super cool in this pack.
Yeah, I really like them.
The windows are round, which you don't have any round windows. I wanted to do a lot of like interesting stuff that we hadn't done yet in the 3 previous packs.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, here you can see like some railings from the old ornate set on this set. I'll try to mix in some other styles as I'm going as well.
Yeah. This isn't likely going to be the last structure set that we put out.
Yes, for sure.
We're gonna keep putting out a couple more at least. Let's see. Yeah, Godslayer does have a point. The doors are not great for PvP if you don't want people seeing inside of your base. But I mean, you have these other structure sets that you can use doors from in that case.
Here, I'll do this.
Just try a. Honestly, I think that ornate looks pretty sweet with the marble.
Yeah, the good thing about the system we have is that every piece from each set can go into any other piece.
Yeah.
Which kind of plays into the upgrading system or the style swapping system that some people have been asking for as well. So if you really hate this like wire door, you can put in like even a wood door. It would kind of look kind of silly, but feel
Nothing
free.
stopping you.
Yeah, nothing stopping.
Croy Mortlack wants to know if he's one of the admins in the Discord. He wants to know if there are any marble pillars, which I'm pretty sure we have.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's got all the same pieces that every other structure pack has. Like James just mentioned, every pack has an equivalent piece in another pack. Minus, wood having curved stairs because it doesn't. Stone and from stone up, they all match. So you'll be able to change up the styles and mix and match these kind of pieces. So yeah, there will be pillars. There is supports. There is windows, doors, and all the other pieces that you've come to know and love. They exist in marble as well.
Put some pillars down right now.
I'm actually really liking how the ornate works with the marble.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, like white accented by kind of metallic-y goldy type thing. Looks cool.
Yeah, one of our QA testers made like a really cool stone and ornate or stone and white marble building.
Yeah.
A bit earlier, and it looked really cool. It turned out really awesome.
I stole that picture and used it on Twitter earlier.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it was awesome.
You've probably seen it if you're watching the stream.
So we have there's like so every set has a pillar. The wood one is like this thing, whatever. The white marble kinda gets 2 because it has a single support, which the other ones do. But their single supports are generally like a square, like a post. So white marble kinda gets 2 pillars actually.
Oh, that looks cool.
The Greek column style.
Yeah.
And then someone's asking to see. I think someone wants to see the wood with the marble. I feel like it's not going to look awesome.
We can try it.
How could it look awesome? I don't know why anyone would want a wood door on their ornate marble castle, but
To each their own.
We don't tell you how to play the
Right?
game.
Like a really, really nice RV.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay.
Life is Chuck says you guys are awesome. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Life is Chuck.
Thank you. Yeah, Godslayer says the marble set looks awesome. How close do we have to have the supports to each other?
I believe
2 or 3 spaces.
I think so, yeah.
If a space is like a single floor piece or like a single wall piece in height, I think it's like 2 or 3 out.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
You could do. It's a way that you can find out. I don't know. I'll do it every time.
I believe it is 3 will come without support. So say you place the floor and it'll have your support beams automatically. You can go 3 out before it'll start wanting to place more supports again.
Yeah.
Mr. Puppy, I'm not ignoring you. What'd you say? Oh, okay. I didn't see that. Mr. Puppy wants us to make the giant statue in the distance an endgame raid. At the top of the staff. That would actually be pretty sweet.
Right.
Right?
Pretty
Put
cool.
a house in his head, the windows are the eyes,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Shoots lasers out of his
Shoots
eyes.
lasers,
Oh, that'd be pretty
shouts, remember me.
Yeah.
cool. Got to be hockey. Yeah, we did mention when the marble set will be unlocked. It's level 45, right?
45,
Same
yeah.
as the ornate set.
Yes.
This looks really stupid. As you would expect.
I kind of dig it, but it's kind of weird.
I love the idea of someone like building a wood shack as their first house and then just continuing to expand off of it, like never upgrading. It's
Like they're like, I'll throw something down, and then they won the lottery.
yeah, yeah, right, yeah. Is there plans on making the map bigger? Maybe not bigger, but we might add things to the map. I think that's
Yeah, for now it's a matter of expanding in areas where we haven't placed things and maybe making caves and things like that. But to make the map bigger is a bit more of a technical jump, especially on the servers. So once everything's stable is when we'll be able to explore kind of options like expanding the map or adding things to it.
yeah.
Adding to the top itself, like to the ground level and things, is almost not doable with the game live because players might have a structure and then we place something magnificent and it might be right in the middle of their house.
Yeah, that's always going to be a concern
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
If we're adding something to the world, we have to consider that people have built there or
Yeah.
potentially have built there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's going to have to be something that we...
It has to be done with a delicate touch. So
Yeah.
there's no immediate term to be playing with the size of the map right away.
And like if we add something that big to the map that it might cause people's structures to like unspawn or whatever, like we'll give you heads up on that. Maybe that's when this looks awesome. I really like the ornate working with the marble. Maybe that'd be something we'd have to do our first wipe for, right?
Yeah.
But if we have to do a wipe or if your structures will be impacted in any way, we will give you very ample notice for that. We won't just spring it upon you day ahead of time or something like that.
We will give you weeks notice that something is going to happen.
Yes.
But we are, just so everybody's aware, we are trying to avoid that as much as possible, trying to avoid removing any kind of progress from you guys.
Saw a question a second ago.
Funny. I don't know how this looks. Nice. Like really flimsy walls and this super nice door.
Mr. Neon Moon is asking if we're ever. This is a good question. I don't think we have plans for anything like this yet, but if we're ever going to add a large staircase to match the large doors.
Yeah, definitely something that could happen. We haven't planned for it right now, but I know what you mean. When you build a large door, you have to kind of build 2 staircases up. And
Yeah.
in the middle, you have railings.
Yeah, I think that's what he's talking about.
We definitely something we've talked about for sure.
Yeah. It's something that's been spoken about, but we don't have any plans for that quite yet. Like this, yeah. But it would be cool. What's this? Oh, yeah, okay. Undicus Maximus asked literally that question. If staircases will ever like blend together, or if we'll ever do like a wider staircase.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. We'll see how that works out. But it's definitely something we've thought about. Let's see. Wow, a lot of people want that large staircase now.
It's a hot one.
Let's see. Ramps would also be nice. Ramps.
For our, make it, wheelchair accessible.
That's true.
That's true.
You can kind of use roofs as ramps, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Oh, like he's saying
You
like
might slide down
railless
right now. We actually
stairs.
changed it, yeah. Yeah, okay, you slide down right now. That'll be fixed actually very soon. Where you can, you can use a roof piece kind of as an impromptu ramp.
Yeah. Audio Senpai is asking, are there currently any plans to expand roofing options? Many people on the Discord know that he's in the process of building a city, which is awesome, by the way. If anyone's ever taken a look at it, you can see it in the screenshots channel in the Discord. It's really cool. The roofing seems a little limited to him. So he's saying he wants like flat, curved pieces for the roof.
Oh, like there is for floors?
I think so. Yeah, like what you've just done with the floor there, but like a
like
roof
that.
tile.
Yeah, the roof only has right now like a triangle piece and a flat piece. I need to be in the correct place to put it down.
And
that sort of thing and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, maybe we can get a curved one at some point. Again, no plans for that, but these are things that we think about.
Yeah, it's a cool idea.
Pardon any graphical glitches you see with the build menu right now. As we said, the marble set is not fully implemented into the game yet.
Yeah, there's definitely still a few hiccups before
Yeah.
it gets released, which is why we haven't released it yet. We're kind of showing it off right now as it's in a state where we can display it, but we're not quite ready to release it.
Yeah, this is still a little bit off. Like you'll notice some of these.
When you
delete
delete a piece, it doesn't fracture at all. It just the whole piece.
I personally love that. It's hilarious. just falls over.
Yeah.
It just gives up. Yeah, I mean, let us talk gaming. Has a question that is just there's any plans on adding drawbridges or elevators. Like we see all kinds of cool ideas for structures.
Yeah.
We want to implement as many as we can. It's just a matter of like resources and time and what the demand is for those things. So of course we're always listening. We're always taking these ideas down and thinking about them when there is a consideration for that kind of thing in the future. No specific plans for any of that yet, but again, we're listening,
Yep, and you can always just let us know if you ever have something interesting that you've thought of and you think would be cool for that other players would enjoy as well. By all means, let us know on Discord, let us know on Twitter, let us know through any kind of medium you can get a hold of us, and just message us and let us know your ideas.
Oh, RL Code has a question. It's actually a pretty good question. I didn't realize this wasn't the case. Will we ever add a potion for respecing character attribute points? I didn't realize our Elixir of Amnesia doesn't do that. It just does knowledge points.
Yeah, it respects your knowledge points. So that's an interesting point as well, just to make sure that. Okay.
I didn't realize that potion didn't do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll look into that. Thank you for the heads up and
Good
as well
suggestion.
the question, and yeah, we'll look into that.
That's a legitimately very
That is
good
a very
suggestion.
legitimate suggestion. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how we overlooked that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe we'll make another elixir or something. I don't know. Potentially. We'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
But yeah, good point you just made. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, wait, no. Geist is saying Elixir of Amnesia does respect both knowledge and
Yeah, it's
attribute
like-
points. I thought it did.
That's why I was like, this must be a new bug. I'll take a gander.
Yeah,
and
God's
make
Slayer's...
sure that was okay.
Okay, a lot of people are saying, no, it does do both.
Okay. I thought it was a new bug. I was like,
Yeah.
oh no.
I was like...
Okay, cool.
I didn't want to call you a liar, man, but I was like, I'm pretty sure it does. Okay, good to know. Is that not what you meant? Maybe I misunderstood your question.
Thank you for the heart attack.
Yeah, right? Okay, I think he's conceding at this point that he was wrong. Fine, that's fine. Yeah, if you do notice things like that, though, I mean, there's always a chance maybe we overlooked something like that. So.
Yeah, and it could be a bug introduced by a patch accidentally. Maybe something broke. So if you ever see something like that, don't just take it at face value. You can always ask us, and we'll look into it. And if it's okay, we'll let you know.
Yeah. Let's see. Yolizian is asking. This is a thing I see sometimes. If there's ever going to be a way to rotate structure pieces before you place them. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
To be honest.
Yeah, probably not. That's one of the smaller functionalities that people are asking for, and it's not definitely not a big priority at the moment. Maybe in the future if there's extra scope, but currently there's no immediate plans for rotation, because you can actually just turn yourself.
Yeah.
If you just move your body in the angle of orientation, hence, and that's why we have like flying elixirs or flying potions, like the Flight of the Architect. It's a nice, slow, cheap potion that you can use, and it'll let you kind of fly above your structure. If you need to flip something around, you can get a change of angle and rotate that piece just by your perspective on it. And that's for that reason alone. We also have double-sided doors. The doors open from both sides. They open in and out. So we have other ways of working around that issue.
I think that's one of those things where it sounds like it would be easy to implement, but I think it would actually take a lot of work.
It take a lot of work and could potentially create a lot of bugs within the build system, especially at this point. But yeah, that's a large overhead task. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it works the way it is right now. Sometimes I know what you guys mean. Like sometimes it's like ceiling pieces specifically can be a little finicky, but you can get it there. It's just a little bit of a struggle sometimes. But I think to implement that, would be a major workload and potentially would introduce a lot of problems. So maybe in the future, but for now, like we don't want to change things that could potentially break a lot of things in the process. Yeah. So we'll see what the future holds, but for now, I wouldn't hold your breath, to be honest. Let's see. Got a lot of more comments coming in here. Let's see what else got. Someone's asking if you can have 2 thrones.
No. You only have one, and your throne takes 2 states: your house or your private ownership. So yeah, you can only have 1 throne, and it designates your house. That's how we kind of define your space. If you want more activity, say you're trying to build a village and you want multiple houses to be owned, that's where like our community aspect comes in, where building with your friends, having them come in and joining a house together really kind of makes that possible.
Yeah. Where'd that go? Oh yeah, and Prank Kill was asking if this is something we spoke about earlier. If thrones could have a countdown so that you could see that degradation. Again, that's something that's gonna come over time. We'll implement those quality of life little UI fixes as we go. The throne degradation system is still a little bit of it's a relatively new system to the game. It wasn't in the game at launch. We added it afterwards. So, we'll add things to support that as we go. At the moment, we don't have that, but it would be nice to have something like that.
It's a good polish item that'll make that experience nice and smooth, but definitely something that'll happen in the future, not in the immediate term.
Any chance of implementing knowledge gain past 60? Asks Darnus Art. I think 60 is probably going to be our cap.
Yeah, for the immediate future and for the foreseeable future, 60 is our level cap.
Yeah.
That's actually where the elixir of amnesia comes in. Is if you miss something that you really wanted to try, or you have some things that you tried out and you're not a fan of them, you can just drink that elixir. It'll wipe that KP tree so that you can target the things that you enjoy doing. So I think that's our current workaround for that. There are other potential above 60 things that we might do in the future. Yeah. But for now, that's where that amnesia elixir kicks in.
I think I think the plan for us isn't to like raise that cap, but rather make things you can do after level 60 a little more meaningful. Yeah. It's maybe something that we're not doing right now because we haven't added anything for that yet, but it's something that we want to do in the future. We have those world bosses that we keep talking about that are in the works.
Yep.
So we'll have things like that to make the post 60 game a little more interesting to keep people on the hook and playing once they've hit that cap. Because I think raising the cap is kind of an artificial way of keeping the game interesting.
Yeah, it's just saying, okay, here's more grind, and instead of introducing more grind, because we have people saying that, we are a bit of a grind as we should be, I think.
Yes.
We just want to make sure that we're giving you more gameplay more gameplay options, I should say, rather than just, all right, we bumped you up to 70. Now it's going to take another 100 hours for you to get there, and so on and so forth. So we're really working at making sure that our initial experience is fine-tuned before we need to expand anything like that.
Let's see. Can we have better management of storage? Not 100% sure what you mean by that.
I think I've heard that a few times. People asking for different types of storage, maybe different sizes of storage, larger, smaller.
Oh yeah.
Maybe some that hold raw resources and some that hold items, and just kind of organization. I've seen that a few times in different chat forums, and it's something that I'm aware of in the back of my head. But so far, yeah, in the short term, there's nothing like that in the pipeline. But if it becomes a common feedback from players that they would like more storage possibilities or options, that's when we'll start to look at it as a potential solution for gameplay.
So Osmos Extreme and another awesome username, Moist Slenderman,
Nice.
both asked questions related to tamed creature funkiness. We are getting pretty close to fixing the issue with tames disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's being worked on now, and it's not ready for this week, so it's not in this patch, but I think we're getting pretty close. I'll keep you guys updated as we have more info related to that. But yeah, I mean, having those tames disappear when there's like a server reset, obviously not awesome. So we want to get that fixed soon.
Yeah, that's a big priority for us. So I'll promise you, our programmer is working really hard to make sure that problem is solved for everybody.
Yeah, we have a programmer that's been working really hard on fixing that.
Yeah,
I think we're getting close. I'll keep you guys updated as we have details.
You should throw down your throne, James.
You should.
You're abandoned.
I really love how the red carpet looks on the like white marble ground.
Right?
Just looks so cool.
Yeah,
looks
man.
regal.
It's a movie premiere, basically.
Yeah, right? Are we at cans?
Yeah.
Let's see. Bump on Audio's question. What was Audio's question? What? Latest patch made potions super tiny on the UI?
What?
That's news to me.
That's interesting.
I'll have to look into that when we're done the stream here. I'll talk to you when we're done, Audio. That is interesting.
I'm not sure what he means. Like, if he means like these slots in particular. Or...
Do you mean the like this UI here at the bottom with your health and all that, or do you mean like your inventory UI? Either way, we can talk about that later, and I'll try and figure out what's going on there. Any other new furniture planned? Nothing currently in the works, but we do want to add more furniture in the future.
Yeah, nothing concrete right now, but it was pretty cool to add the decorative pack with all these like carpets and stuff, and the more flags and like the bookcase and stuff like that. So there's definitely the potential for us to have like another furniture pack in the future.
Yeah. What was that question I just saw?
Red carpet.
I just lost a good question.
It's gone forever.
It's gone forever, man. Where did that go?
We will never be answered.
All right. Well, Elite Twin 2 asks if there's any plans to change the leveling system of the game. If it's like the knowledge tree, I think they're specifically referring to. I think that's probably going to be.
I think right now it's kind of it's as is. If it's something like we start to have so many build packs and we have so many items that we need to reorganize, that's something that's a bit. It's going to be a bit alive, I think, and it might be updated based on the need we have for it. I think for what we have in game now and the functionalities we use, I think it's optimal.
Yeah.
And I personally really enjoy it. But it's something that in the future, if we need to, we'll adjust it.
And it may not change, but there's always the potential, like we may shuffle the trees around a bit, right? Or change the values of some of these level requirements. Or, knowledge point requirements for some of those skills.
Yeah, those kind of changes, knowledge points, balances, unlocks, and all that stuff is always kind of up for grabs. If it needs to change, we can change those values, and we can adjust those things. But as far as layout or organization or new pages or anything like that, that's a bit more up for what the need is.
Right. I like a DeFago is back here with another question. Will you ever be able to have more than one tame? Yes, you currently can have 4 tames.
Yep.
Which you can look at by pushing... I can never remember what the hotkey for the creature tame menu is, but it's in there in the... if you push I, it'll bring up your...
Bottom there is
it's the bottom.
Something that, yeah, they populate in this list here at the bottom when you have something tamed.
If you're not able to get more than one, that might be a bug. We'll look into that, but I think from what I've been hearing, it's been working fine.
Yep.
Let's see. Pendragon's asking about other playable races. That's long-term stuff.
Yeah, those kind of ideas definitely long-term, definitely depending on scope and things like that. We've heard it come up a few times, and I think it's something that we'll have to talk about design-wise, what we would like to have implemented in this world based on not only the lore, but our ability to create really meaningful characters in that way. So for now, no, there's nothing like crazy going on. We're not firing in new races or anything like that, new species of anything yet, but definitely something that we've heard before.
Yeah. CML Biggs is asking about the potential that we'll ever merge servers or migrate players from one server to another. If we do that, we'll give you a lot of heads up.
Yeah.
That might be something we do in the future. I don't know.
Yeah.
Currently, we don't have any plans for that, but that could be potentially something that we do in the future.
Mm-hmm. And anything like that, like Dennis said, we'll give you ample warning that something major is going on, because that's a pretty big change. So we'll always make sure everybody's aware of anything like that.
Yeah. I love that. We're not fixing that. That's
No, it's staying in.
That's staying in for sure. Yeah, and Godslayer, I mean, he's asking again about bosses. Yes, that's coming.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
In the works.
He wants to know if there's going to be any more content like that rather than these structure kits. I recognize that this might be exciting to a lot of players, but maybe not some players who maybe want something like world bosses. Things like that take a lot more time.
Yes.
They also require programmer support, heavy programmer support. So, and they're currently dealing with things like server stability and all that.
Yeah.
We want to get the game stable. So they're coming. We have plans for that. It's in the works, the design and all that is pretty much done. It's just a matter of implementing and testing and iterating.
Yeah.
And we'll have info on that as it happens. So yes, that's coming. It's just going to take a little while because, programmer support is valuable on a game like this. You can make a structure kit pretty quickly in terms of programming support. It doesn't need a ton of programming support. It's more of an art burden.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, we want to keep our programmers focused on stability as well as trying to work on those kinds of things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no problem, CML, for that info. Do we plan to have, Mr. Schrumpert asks this, do we plan to have level 60 armor for each class? Or each tier of armor? I don't know if we have level 60 armor. I think our highest is level... I think you have them all unlocked, so we can't see now.
Right, yes. 55?
Oh, 55, yeah.
55s, yeah.
But I guess he means, do we plan to add another iron?
Do we plan to add more? This is one of those things that'll kind of always be living. As we add content, it'll kind of grow and expand, so maybe we adjust the cloth tree so that it can get in its own, complete armor sets for all the tiers and kind of things like that. So that's something that over time will grow, and if we manage to have all the assets in place, then that's for sure a possibility.
I will say that because we have 3 sets of cloth, leather, and wild, It would be very strange if we didn't have 3 sets of iron.
It would be,
Yeah.
yeah. We don't have any specific
Maybe-
details for that yet,
Maybe
but
that's a hint as to what could come in the future.
I think you can probably reliably assume that something will come for that.
I think James is saying something.
Try to keep it as coded as possible.
We're very obscure.
Yeah.
Let's see. Right now, if you fly on Broom, on non-flying creature can reach you with its attack, so you can just fly high in the air and kill everything without. Any plans to rebuild? I don't understand your question. I'm sorry, but I think he's asking if we ever plan to restrict creature flight at any point. I think he's saying it's weird that we restrict broomstick flight like via mana, but creatures can fly indefinitely.
Okay. So that's definitely a design consideration that we could work towards if it becomes a really abusable problem. Currently, the AI actually are slower than brooms. Brooms are quite quick. The AI are more just giant. So they are a bit slower. But if it starts to become an exploitable problem, even for role-playing servers, like players just saying, this doesn't feel right, that's definitely something we can take into consideration. But so far in the short term, nothing for it. But definitely worth noting that if it becomes a problem, we can address it promptly.
Yeah. Pendragon is asking if we ever plan to fully implement some of those deprecated spells that you can get to with like admin commands and all that. A lot of people have accessed them. They're out there.
Yeah, they're out there.
We can acknowledge them.
So those are deprecated for their own reasons.
Yeah.
Some for scope, some because they just were not good for stability.
Yeah.
They might be too fantastic. They might, they may have spawned NPCs into the world, which can cause some pretty good server load. So we're just those. Some of them might be removed entirely. Some might get optimized and brought in later. Currently, there's no plans for those.
Yeah.
We're trying to play with the spells that we have implemented already, as well as creating new ones from those. So whether it's creating new projectiles that explode, creating maybe some homing projectiles or things like that in the future. Those are more what we're looking towards, because these spells proved to be quite reliable. The other ones didn't survive our testing phase. So
Yeah, a lot of those come from a phase of testing, right? And let's be honest, some of them are kind of just busted.
Yeah, some just did not work.
They just did not work
and
out.
it was more us experimenting and trying to create something interesting. But for now, we have a good palette of spells, and we really want to play with the palette we have to create more for you guys.
I think there's, and I'm not going to go into any specifics about it, but there's definitely some in there that I think are favorites of some people in here. And so maybe those, will get a touch up and be released in the future. But, as we're saying, like those were from testing, and maybe they're not what we thought they would be after we played around with them and tried them out. But we'll see what happens,
Who knows, maybe in the future, if you guys are thinking on spells and things like that already, maybe we put it to some community vote. Maybe what would they like to see based on what we have, if they want to mix and match some styles or some interactivity of them, like their function. Let us know. Maybe we'll start something like this. I'll leave that to Dennis to decide, but
see what people are begging for. Man, we're coming up on an hour already. The stream went really quick. We'll take a couple more questions, and then there's some. So we've been building here. We've been showing off this structure set. This week specifically, like some really crazy structures just popped up.
Yeah, we have to show these off.
Yeah, so I want to show a couple of them off. We're gonna they'll probably be in the weekly post that I regularly do, but I figured we should take a look at them here too, because they're just super cool.
Yeah, we were blown away. We were blown away when we saw them.
People got creative this week. I don't know what triggered it, but people just went to town. So I want to show off some of those in a second here. We'll just take a couple more questions, and then we'll probably jump to that and call it a day. Okay, so to clarify that broomstick thing that we were talking about earlier, I think the question was, do we plan to improve the AI in a way where you can't fly up way high on a broomstick and just like nuke NPCs from like the heavens?
I don't think you can anymore.
Yeah.
We've done some functionality balances to the spells themselves, so that they have attributed ranges to them, and so some of them you won't be able to make it to the ground if you're flying at the top of, at the top of the flight limit there. If you're at the ceiling, if you will, you won't be able to hit the ground. And so that should alleviate some of those abuses and some of those exploits, because we were aware of that, and even players shooting spells from across the map. We have a 36 square kilometer map, and to see an arcane missile come at you that's potentially from the forest was a little bit much. So those have been a little bit adjusted. So hopefully that issue that he's having has been alleviated. If somebody's been grieving, or if somebody's just been exploiting that system, hopefully that's taken care of with this recent update.
Gamers Overnight is saying that you still can. That maybe that's true for a spell or two that we missed. Talk to me after the stream if there's a bug or like something that we missed. We'll tidy that up.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll do a couple more questions, then we'll take a look at some structures and call it a day. Croy is asking if we've done anything in terms of weather yet, since we were talking about it last week and inviting people to share their ideas. Work hasn't started on weather yet.
No, it has not.
As I said, we're a small studio. Our programmer resources are pretty limited sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So our programmers are working on a couple of things, world bosses being one of them.
Yeah.
And server stability at the moment is obviously a top priority for us.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as we start actually working on that, I'll be glad to talk about it on a stream. We can tell you where we are with the progress on that. So far, work has not started on weather, but we have been listening to your suggestions.
Yeah.
They are awesome, and we're going to try and work with a lot of those and get them implemented where we can.
Yeah. And our programmers are just as excited to be able to make new functionality and new features as well. They just are really limited to what they can do right now, trying to make sure that servers are good, so and make sure the game is just stable across the board. So bear with us on some of those new features. Some of them are a little bit larger, and we are listening. We have them written down, so we haven't forgotten. Don't worry, we're not going to forget about them, because we like them too. We're excited about those ideas too.
Our last question is going to be your favorite question, Sawyer. I'm choosing it specifically because I know you're so sick of hearing it. Are we happy with one slot for trinkets and flying items? What's your answer, Sawyer?
Let me pull out my script here. So currently we don't have any immediate plans to allow multiple trinkets to be equipped to the players, and this is primarily for balance reasons. There's a lot of considerations that have to be taken into account when we allow for players, because players are really talking about, okay, I want a broom and my ring, and that's so they can have free flight. Understandably so, that's what you want. We may or may not be able to give that to you, but we also have to take into some consideration. I'll elaborate a little bit more with this answer. We also have other trinkets like crit chance, armor, and things like that affect other stats, and if we start allowing multiple trinkets to be equipped, you might start looking at players who are way overpowered to what they should be, or what's appropriate. What has been mentioned before is trinket swapping similar to our weapons, and that one is a much more easier pill to swallow balance-wise.
Yeah.
There's a lot less back-end work that has to go into that one. So that's something that I'm keeping in mind, is maybe trinket swaps for gameplay, but in the short term, no, there's no immediate plans for multiple trinkets to be equipped.
Yeah. And I'm going to ask you that question
Every time.
every single stream
until we do it.
Participate in. No, even after it's done.
Even after it's done.
I'm going to ask you that.
I'm going to come into the
time.
office on Monday every week.
Let's switch over to those cool structures. Sure. Just before we go do that, Ondicus Maximus says that our art team is amazing, James.
Oh, thank you.
So a little love from everybody there on that.
Jazz snaps for James.
Classic.
So let's hop over.
Coffee house clapping.
Yeah. Let's keep it classy here at Blue Owl Studios.
Okay,
so this first one, yeah,
This one?
just click on it. It's good.
Cool.
This is from on Steam, Mr. Huang. He made this awesome temple. I love this.
I was blown away when I saw this for the first time.
I think, no promises, no official statement or anything like this. One of the structure sets we potentially consider for the future was maybe like an Asian temple themed type thing.
I always thought that would be like a really cool thing to have, because
Yeah.
a lot of the structures that we have now are European in nature, like Nordic. It'd be really cool to have something super different in Japanese architecture. Like what he's going for right here is like so close to.
I know, right?
It's such a cool idea. I'm not saying it'll ever happen. It may very well not be a thing, but it sure looks cool.
It's so simple what he's made, but he just nailed that style so perfectly somehow.
Really cool.
It looks awesome. I guess it's like the stairs, or I don't know. It
looks
looks really cool.
One of our programmers mentioned that he wants to do like a fighting battle in that front area. It's like a battle map.
Yeah, it looks like a 1v1 fighting game background location.
Yeah, it's like a Street Fighter level.
Fighting in front. Yeah, really cool.
He made another one too. This is just another temple, also really cool.
Yeah, super sweet.
I like the lighting. He just covered it in candles, and it looks really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love the next one though. The next one's easily my favorite of the week.
Oh man.
This is from a guy on Steam named Aerodeal. It's a pirate ship, and it looks so cool.
I didn't even think about this kind of shape with these build packs, and somebody blew my mind.
Yeah, like the fact that he accomplished that's crazy. Yeah, super awesome. I love that people have made stuff that aren't what you would like formally consider a structure.
Yeah.
They just made this giant boat.
Yeah.
That's such a cool idea.
I mean, in the strictest sense, it is just a boat-shaped
Yeah.
building.
Yeah.
But that almost makes it cooler.
Yeah.
It's like a novelty restaurant.
Porthole window.
Yeah. It's like a Long John Silver's. But it's awesome. It looks so cool. Everyone flipped out in the office when we saw that.
Super cool to see that one.
Titanium just made this cool sprawling castle with
awesome.
banners everywhere, and I just think it looks awesome.
Yeah, that's sweet.
I've seen a lot of castles similar to this, but I just like, anytime someone makes a giant castle, I'm always impressed.
Yeah, when people make like whole compounds like this, there's a bridge going across, that's so cool.
Yeah, which is kind of like the next one too, which is also really cool. This is from Laggy Ties. I just really like this one because it's like that castle looks like it's supposed to be there.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just like so perfectly integrated with the face of the mountain there.
Yeah, this one is like really like carefully crafted.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
It's super cool.
Yeah.
And buy a house there.
Yeah. They buy like a timeshare.
Yeah, right? One last one we'll look at. I just like this library design that the guy's name is Destin. I think I got this from the Discord. This is a cool library design. Just having like those two triangles meeting at a point in the center of the room. That's really creative
like
use of the ceilings.
Room right
here.
Yeah.
We should just steal this for our bosses. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
There's a lot more cool structures that have popped up on Discord and on the Steam screenshots pages. So I would definitely invite people to go take a look at some of the things people have been making. It's really impressive. We're getting wowed like every day by some of the things people are making.
Send on Mr. Huang's first one.
Oh yeah.
You want to go back to that?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
The wizard elder in the background, just on the skyline.
Yeah. Oh man, we've got to add like Fu Manchu facial hair to the game. That would be so
that
cool.
Would be cool.
So I think that's going to wrap it up for this stream. We went a little longer than I expected we would. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. That marble set is still a work in progress. We're going to keep working on it, getting it out soon. I don't know if we have an official date for that yet, but as soon as we do, I will share that with you. Once again, thanks for joining us. Next time we have a stream, I'll let you guys know on Twitter, on the Discord, everywhere. And join us, please, because we like doing these and hearing from you guys while we do them.
Yeah, a lot of fun. And keep sending in these awesome screenshots of cool structures. Because everyone here at the studio really likes to see them.
Yeah,
really
seriously.
Cool.
We get a real kick out of them.
Yeah.
Everyone flipped out at that pirate ship.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. All right, thanks a lot, guys, and we'll be hearing from you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.